Alright, well, in my last video that I put up here, I talked about Obama nominating Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court. I talked about how it ties into Antonin Scalia. I also mentioned that back in November, there was something to do with judges. I talked about the Michigan State football game where it was Barack and Josiah Price, and they had an article about it, whatever. And Barack and Josiah are both biblical things that have to do with the judges and bringing the law back and whatnot. But also around that same time, there was this lady, this judge from Texas, Julie Kocurek, I believe her name is. But she was shot outside of her home on November 6th, 11/6. And it's interesting because I talked all about 116 and whatnot in this post. I talked about Obama being assassinated. ESPN, CNN put up this video, and they show Obama giving a speech at 11:06, announcing that he had nominated Merrick Garland. The video was even 1 minute long. If you write out 1 minute in Gematria, it even equals 116. And when he did this, it was on March 16th, which can also be written as 16-3, kind of like 163. I talked about all these 163s in Gematria in regards to Obama being assassinated. Even Obama assassinated equals 163. His full name equals 163. Talked about the Kansas train wreck that just happened. Also the Philadelphia train wreck, 163. Make America Great Again, like Donald Trump always says, 163. Lots of interesting things. But the reason that sticks out is because June 11th is the 163rd day this year. 6/11, so 116. 1 minute equals 116. And then it was on a date that even coincides with the 611 or the 116. And then this lady, when I noticed all of this judge stuff, actually was shot on 11/6, November 6th. So anyway, there's more to it than that, but you can go back and watch this video if you want. It'll make a lot more sense if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I just want to move on. I want to talk about this lady a little bit here. So when Antonin Scalia died, I even remember that I made some comment somewhere. I don't even know. I remember writing a comment. I can't find it now. But I talked about how this lady got shot, and she got shot 99 days before Antonin Scalia died. And 99 I have noticed over and over and over with this code that connects to Abraham Lincoln, Obama, also other assassinated presidents. And like Abraham Lincoln died 9 hours, 9 minutes after being shot on 14-4, the 144 that's connected to political assassinations. Last year, Obama sang Amazing Grace at Clementa Pinckney's funeral. It was 9 days after 9 people were killed. 9 months and 9 days later is April 4th, 4/4. The 9th president and also the first president to die in office died on 4/4. If you write out 44, it equals 144. If you write out April 4th, it equals 144. Obama is labeled as the 44th president. He's only the 43rd person to be president. So maybe this does tie into, the next president as well. But just wanted to point out, that's some of the reasons why 99 is significant. But also 99 days is also a span of 14 weeks, 1 day here. The lady that got shot in Texas, her name even adds up to 141. Also 51 the small way, just like Antonin Scalia, equals 51. He died on February 13th, the first day of Lupercalia. The date numerology, 2 plus 13 plus 20 plus 16 even adds up to 51. Also interesting in regards to that, in that video I talked about being 1 minute long. If you write out 100 actually adds up to 51. Anyway, the 626 I just keep saying over and over. There's something super significant about all of these sixes. Also, this was the day that gay marriage was legalized. It was the day Obama sang Amazing Grace at Clementa Pinckney's funeral. I mean, just a super significant day last year, but if you go from that day to November 6th when this Julie chick was shot, it's a span of 133 days. Also, 4 months, 11 days, which is just interesting because the word assassin in Jewish gematria equals 411. JFK died on 411 Elm Street. If you go from the date that she was shot, November 6th, and you go to the day that Obama nominated Merrick Garland, it's also a span of 4 months, 11 days. It's also 132 days, with the end date included, which is just interesting because, Antonin Scalia adds up to 132. And the whole reason that Obama nominated him was because of the death of Antonin Scalia. Also, if you go from the day that Obama nominated Merrick Garland, and you goes to July 26th of this year, it's a span of 4 months, 11 days. And that's interesting because July 26th is also 26-7, similar to 267. And once again, there's something that always connects back to this date with the Pope coming to the United States on his 923rd day as Pope, went to the White House at 923, on 923 to meet with the 44th president. But 923 this year is the 267th day. So just an interesting day to look out for. Last year, this date was Obama's 6th year, 6th month, and 6th day as being president as well. The 666. Also, in regards to the 99 stuff, a new one I noticed was if you go from September 9th, which is 9/9, and you go to the day that the next president begins their presidency, it's a span of 4 months and 11 days, like the word assassin and whatever. All of these other 411s, 133s. 133 even interesting because Pope Francis became the Pope on March 3rd of 2013, 13-3-13. Even in gematria, if you write out 300, 6 the mark of the beast, it adds up to 133, and also the big way, 313. Both connected to the day that Pope Francis became the Pope. Also, if you go from 4/4 to 9/9, it's a span of 5 months, 5 days. Just found that kind of interesting. 44, 55, 99, all multiples of 11. Obama even turns 55 36 days before 9/9. And there's just been a ton of 6 coding. I've noticed since the beginning of March or around there. There's just lots of 26, 62, 36, 63, or 666, just lots of stuff in regards to a 6. So anyway, also in the last post, I mentioned the number 146 again. I've been seeing this number just all over the place. Even the death of Aubrey McClendon, the Oklahoma City Thunder part owner, they showed the big sign of the 14-6 where he wrecked and whatnot. Tons of other 146 stuff in regards to Steve Kerr and David Blatt. Anyway, though, this year, June 14th, which can also be written as 14-6, so like 146, this year it will be Pope Francis's 1,189th day as Pope. So super interesting. That's how many chapters are in the King James Bible. So maybe signifying the end. Also, that day is Donald Trump's 70th birthday. And I mean, wouldn't you know, if you go from that day and you go to November 6th, it's even a span of 146 days. I mean, craziness. Also, I guess I talk about it down here, the Steve Kerr stuff, but if you go from January 22nd, that's the 122, Pope Francis in gematria equals 122, Golden State 122, tons of other 122 stuff, train wreck and whatnot. But if you go from this date to June 14th, it's a span of 144 days. The number around political assassination and whatnot. And the reason that it's interesting, because the Cleveland Cavaliers coach got fired on that day, the same day that Steve Kerr came back to coach the Warriors on their 44th game of the season. They're in their 44th year in Golden State. Tons of other stuff with that. David Michael Blatt, the Cavs coach, though, adds to 146, just like Oakland, California, where the Warriors play. Just some other interesting 144s here. Justice Garland, President Biden, Mark of the Beast. Also, if you go from June 14th to 8/4, which is Obama's birthday, so Trump's birthday to Obama's birthday, it's a span of 51 days. But Donald Trump was born in 1946, so he's literally 51 years, or 15 years and 51 days, the mirrors older than Obama. 15 and 51. Remember, the Julie Kocurek lady adds to 51. Antonin Scalia equals 51. Interesting, too, if you write out the word 51, it equals 46 and also 100. Obama's connected to Chicago. Chicago equals 46. Donald Trump was born in 1946. So just pointing out a few other things with 51 there. Also, this just so happens to be 1 month, 21 days, 51 days here. Warriors equals 121. The word revelation equals 121. This will be Pope Francis's 1,189th day as Pope. So, makes sense. Also, remember the Lakers on 3-6 beat the Warriors? It was Kobe Bryant's 1,551st game that he's played, including the playoffs and whatnot. And then it was his 1,331st regular season game. So just interesting, the 1551 and 1331 mirrors. Anyway, if you go from that day to 9/9, it's a span of 6 months and 3 days. 3-6, 6-3. The 6th prime number is 13. The 11th prime number is 31. So interesting. It was Kobe's, 1,331, 1331, 6, and 11. It connects to the 6 and 11. Also, if you go from the day the Lakers beat the Warriors to Donald Trump's birthday and whatnot, it's a span of 100 days. Or 3 months, 8 days, which is interesting because the word death equals 38. But also 100 days, like I just said, 51 equals 146. If you write out the word 146, it even equals 100. So just the way it's interrelated to the number 51. Also just interesting, if you take the reduction method and the simple gematria, the big and the small way, when you write out 51, it's 146. So like 100 plus 46, 146. So just kind of interesting. And remember back in August, we got all these stories about Batman. Donald Trump said that he was Batman at the Iowa State Fair on this helicopter ride. Batman equals 51 in gematria. CNN gives us a 51-second video about it. I mean, and Donald Trump said this the same weekend that some guy who dressed up like Batman and went around to hospitals, he died. That was a big article. The lady who played Batwoman died. Also, Morgan Freeman's granddaughter died. And when CNN showed the picture, or it was Fox News, they showed the picture of Morgan Freeman and her at the Batman premiere. Also want to point out that the movie Batman vs. Superman is coming out this weekend. Even the guy, I think it was in November, I should look it up, probably November 6th or something weird. But the guy who invented the Batmobile died this year as well. So the Batman vs. Superman movie, Dawn of Justice, comes out March 19th, or in the United States, March 25th. So here in 4 days. Just want to point out it's also 151 minutes. I've talked about this number and how it connected to 99. Also interesting, it's the mirrors, the 15 and the 51 combined. Dawn of Justice equals 51. Interesting, Superman equals 44 and Batman equals 51. 44, Obama's the 44th president. Donald Trump is Batman, 51. Trump even says that he's Batman 11 weeks and 6 days before 11/6, when Julie Kocurek was shot outside her house. So not only is it 11 weeks, 6 days, it's also 83 days, also 2 months, 22 days. There's some interesting numbers here. 83, the mirror of 38. Also 2 months, 22 days. So, I mean, look at this. If you go from November 6th, when Julie Kocurek or whatever was shot, and you go to Donald Trump's birthday, span of 222 days. So 2 months, 22 days before Trump says that he's Batman, 222 days later, it's Trump's birthday. So anyway, I was sitting here and I typed in on a search engine Donald Trump and judge, because I just thought, I don't know, maybe Donald Trump has ties to judges or something like that. And I come to find out that his sister, Mary Ann Trump Berry, is a judge. Or she's like, whatever you call it, like retired kind of now, because she got too old or whatever. But just interesting that she was a judge. Just want to point her name out. I just find it very interesting. Mary Ann Trump Berry. Obama is Barry Soetoro, Mary Ann Trump. I don't know. It just really stands out. It's kind of a weird name. And then, no lie, just a few hours ago, I got on CNN and they had this as one of the headlines. Donald Trump's sister threatened in letter. He has other siblings, so it was just interesting. I thought, no way, it has to be that lady. And then you read through here, of course, it's Mary Ann Trump Berry, and she got a letter saying that if Trump doesn't drop out, then he's threatening her harm or whatever. And then they talk about Trump's son, Eric Trump, also received a similar letter, and his contained what they believe to be lemonade mix in it, and they think it might be the same person and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, just how ridiculous. I put this up a couple days ago, and then today we get this article on CNN about Trump's sister, who is a former judge. Her name in Gematria, Mary Ann Berry, equals 62. I just typed in Trump Berry because of the whole Berry and then Trump connection. It's 152 and 53, which is interesting. I'm going to make a whole nother video on this, but about the Warriors losing to the Spurs, which I actually didn't think was going to happen, but of course there was other stuff that I missed and whatnot. But 152, Easter Sunday equals 152. The Warriors lost with 79 points. 79 equals 152. March 19th, 2016, the day they lost, equals 152. The Spurs scored 87. This year, Easter is on the 87th day of the year. So just interesting, but want to move on here. Also, Eric Trump in Gematria equals 51 and 123. Trump's son, I believe, is who it was. Conspiracy also equals 51 and 123. So maybe it's not just about Obama being assassinated. Maybe it is in regards to Trump as well. Maybe both. Maybe one or the other. Who knows? They're both connected to the 44. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could even be Hillary Clinton, or Bernie Sanders might just die or something weird like that, because he's old. I mean, it really wouldn't be that far off. Bernie Sanders is 74 years old, like the word Masonic and everything else. Also, his name in Gematria is 133, just like the connection to the 411 for assassin. Also, Pope Francis, the day he became Pope, so interesting. I don't even know. Feel the Burn even has connections to 51, and also 55, like the word satanic. Or, not satanic, the word Satan. Who knows? Whatever, let's move on here. So since Trump was 15 years and 51 days older than Obama, I just figured let's go to January 15th and see what it is to his birthday or whatnot. January 15th can also be written as 15-1, like 151. I mean, look at it. It's 151 days before Trump's birthday, the Pope's 1,189th day as Pope. So just interesting. 151 is 151 days before June 14th. Also, if you write out January 15th, 2016, it even equals 151. And I put in other stuff that I had previously. Valentine's Day equals 151. Lots of stuff. Goes back to Valentine's Day. Jesus Christ equals 151. The Ben Franklin Bridge I haven't mentioned in a while, but there was lots of foreshadowing to this last year. Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos just won the Super Bowl, equals 151. If you write out 9th president to die in office, it equals 151. Obama would be the 9th president. Also 9 presidents after JFK, the last president to die in office. Tons of other stuff with it in regards to the Super Bowl. Coldplay played, and they had this song called A Head Full of Dreams. Or the album was called A Head Full of Dreams, it equals 151. But Obama sang, they did Obama's Clementa Pinckney's Amazing Grace song on the track Kaleidoscope on this album, and the track was 1:51 long. I mean, tons of other stuff, but I want to move on here. If you write out 151, it equals 56. The date numerology of Trump's birthday is 56, also 36. Paris, France, 56. ISIS, 56. Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, all equal 56. Abraham Lincoln died at the age of 56 in the year 65. In April, the only month that adds up to 56. He also died in Washington, D.C., that equals 56. Lots of interesting 56s. Also, Judge Garland was nominated, or he turned 63 the day of the Paris attacks on 11/13 of 2015. The word Paris equals 63. It was 311 days after Charlie Hebdo. Charlie Hebdo equals 63. He even attended Harvard. Harvard equals 36, the mirror. There was a whole bunch of 63, 36 stuff around this guy, so just pointing out a few of them. Also, in regards to the NBA season, I mentioned that 3/16, the day Obama nominated Merrick Garland, was the 141st day of the NBA season, and it was also 141 days before Obama's 55th birthday. The original lady I'm talking about on November 6th that got shot outside of her home, her name, the Big Way, equals 141. And she was shot 14 weeks and 1 day before Antonin Scalia died. And shot on 11/6. June 11th, if you write that out in Gematria, it equals 141. If you write out 141, it equals 100. Once again, tying into the 51. Also 226. And that number's interesting. I mean, as a date, it's the day that Prince William is born. He'll be 34 this year. It's also February 26th, which is the 57th day of the year. Antonin Scalia, there was a whole bunch of 57 stuff around him. Same with the Vanity lady that died right around the same time. She was all about the number 57. The lady that goes along with Prince, the singer or whatever. But anyway, in regards to the 141s here, plutonium equals 141. It's the gas for time travel. If you write out plutonium-239, that's what they made the nuclear bombs with in the Manhattan Project. And we're in the 239th year of the United States. 23-9 is also September 23rd when Pope Francis came. But that equals 154, a number we've seen a whole bunch in regards to the Super Bowl and all kinds of stuff. I believe Denver Broncos equals 154. Levi's Stadium, where they won, equals 154. They finished the season with a 15-4 record. Tons of other stuff with that as well. Also, the date numerology of the very last day of Back to the Future, where the train destroys the time machine. Doc Brown comes back in the train and whatnot. That date numerology equals 141. World War III also equals 141. Age of Aquarius equals 141. Also, if you go from the Back to the Future day to the day that Garland was nominated, it's 141 days. Also, in regards to Back to the Future, there's been the stuff that connects Donald Trump to Biff Tannen and whatnot. I'll actually talk about that in my next video a little bit. Just kind of interesting. Another thing that sticks out to me is a while back I made this video about August 12th. I can't even remember everything that was in it, but August 12th leaves 141 days left in the year. I left a link here in my video, or this right here. You can search this on my channel if you want to watch it. There's a lot of good information in that video in regards to the end of World War II and how it connects to this year and whatnot. It'll be 71 years. There's a ton of 71 stuff. Moses equals 71, you know, the lawgiver Moses. The 10 Commandments in Gematria also equal 71. The 10 Commandments were the law. So, a lot of interesting stuff. I talked about this so long ago, and then now it's all starting to play out, which is really, really weird to me. I mean, I just kept it in the back of my notes. I had a good feeling something was going to come of it, and then all this stuff keeps happening in regards to judges and whatnot. So, gonna leave it at that. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.